Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Cam, and I am giving you a update for week 55 of my weight loss journey. This is week 55, day 1, and I want to tell you guys about a few things today. The first thing I want to tell you is I'm gonna be changing my film schedule. Okay, what I've done for the past 54 weeks is I've made a video every single day for you. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. I've taken a video for you, and I've taken a weight for you every single day. And I think I was fine for these past 54 weeks. I needed to it was part of my routine to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I'll be honest with you, it gets old making little video clips every single day. And I know you guys are only getting them once a week, because I'll compile them together into one video and I'll upload once a week. But me, I'm filming every day. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change it to where I'm only filming once a week. I only want to take my weight once a week. I only want to make a video once a week. I think and the reason why is because I think that the daily videos, it's just like, oh, I got to get a video done. So the video just kind of becomes here's my weight today, and it's business as usual. Nothing's really going on. It's just like a check the box kind of thing. I don't really want to do that. I want to actually give you guys a video every week that gives you some kind of insight. Some kind of insight. I feel like my weight loss is going pretty good. Right now I'm at my current weight. Now today, day 1, it's kind of funny. My weight is 217.6. That's not my accurate weight because I weighed myself after breakfast this morning. Usually I weigh myself first thing in the morning before I eat. This weight was taken after I already ate breakfast. So, it's a little high. It's probably my weight's probably closer to like 216 something. But regardless, it doesn't really matter. That's my current weight right now. We'll call it 217.6. My weight loss journey is going pretty well. But the first thing, let me just say, changed my filming schedule. I'm not going to film every day. I'm going to film once a week. I want to be able to give you something meaningful once a week. So yes, you're going to get a weekly weight instead of like daily weights in the video, a weekly weight. And I hope that, as I continue to learn on this journey, I'm learning on this journey. It's been a long year of learning. And as I learn things, I want to share some of those insights with you. So if I can just give you one insight a week, that might help you on your journey, then I'm more interested in that than just like 7 little video clips that say, hey, here's my current weight, business as usual. I don't think that really adds value. That's not the reason why I started a YouTube channel for this purpose. The reason I started this YouTube channel is because I wanted to, I wanted to have some accountability there for what I was doing. But more importantly, I wanted a documentation of what I was doing. But even more importantly than that, I wanted something there that was proof to other people that this is possible. I'm a real person, doing something very, very real. I'm a down-to-earth person. I'm doing something that's very, very possible. And I wanted to give you those insights along the way. And I think a year of daily updates is good, but now I want to kind of switch to a weekly update. My weight loss journey continues. Again, I want to get down to 190, and currently I'm at like 217.6. So I am moving down. I'm moving in the right direction, and I'm happy with how my weight loss is going. You could say, well, it's not moving very fast. And, I would say that, you're not always in control of how fast it moves. You think you are, but you're not. For example, I could force the issue, right? And I could eat like 1,500 calories a day or 1,200 calories a day, and I would force my body. I would start losing weight, really fast. And I could force the issue. But as soon as I stopped that caloric deficit, I'd gain that weight back really fast. And not only would I lose the weight fast, But when I say I gain that weight back really fast, what I'm saying is when I reduce my calories that low, my body goes into a different kind of mode, you know? It kind of goes into an emergency mode. So it starts lowering my metabolism so that it's more efficient with the calories that it does get. And as a result, I'll gain weight faster. So that's why you see people who go into caloric deficit, when they come out of caloric deficit, they gain weight really fast. Like it's more complicated than, you know, just calories in, calories out. You know what I mean? It's more complicated. Like weight loss, like true weight loss that lasts. It's more complicated than just like, oh yeah, you know, eat less, exercise more. It's more complicated than that. And, you know, that's one big thing that I've learned along this journey. Yeah, that's what I'd tell you about that. It's been a long journey, right? And I'm not done yet. I want to get down to 190, like I said. And you might think, well, man, you've been at this for 55 weeks now, you know, how long is it going to take? You know, it's like, I tell you what, man, I don't know. I have no idea how long it's going to take. What I do know is I've gotten really good at staying the course. I've developed a lot of self-discipline, and I'm really, really proud of that, you know, and I'm happy where I'm at right now as far as like the way I handle my daily activities, the way I handle my eating. You know, I'm happy with where I'm at. You know, it's funny, I picked up this part-time job in an antique mall, and I can tell you, I was telling my wife this yesterday, I would have never been able to do this job when I was at 278 pounds. When I started this journey, it wouldn't have been, I couldn't have done it, man. I couldn't have, it's too much walking. It's too much physical activity. I wouldn't have been able to do it. And the fact that I can do that right now at 217 is like, that's awesome. So I'm very happy with, you know, how things are going. So let me cut to the chase for today's video here. This is week 55, and I want to kind of give you a kind of a snapshot of where I'm at in week 55. And I want to tailor this snapshot towards people who are watching this because they want to try to, you know, do something. I will tell you, I'm going to be 50 years old in a couple weeks. So, you know, I think that, you know, change is possible no matter what your age is. You see the gray in my beard, and, you know, I'm getting older, man. I'm getting older. And you know, I tell you what, you know, being fat and being heavy is a vicious cycle because it feels like the heavier you are, the more you need to do, but the less you want to do. You know, it's like you just don't want to do anything. You don't have energy. The bigger you are, the less energy you have, you know? So it's hard, okay? And weight loss is hard. It's not simple. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that have been very helpful to me. But I want you to understand something. Like, me giving you these two things, I'm not telling you, oh, it's easy, just do this. There's nothing easy, man. There's nothing easy about losing a bunch of weight. It's difficult. And I think that what's most important is that you resolve yourself to going on this journey and embracing the difficulty of it. You know, just embracing the fact that it's going to be difficult, but you will win. You will win, but it will be difficult. And you really have to make that the priority is getting to where you want to be and, you know, taking it seriously. You know, for a long time, I didn't take it seriously. For 20 years, 30 years, I didn't take it seriously. I'd say, oh, I need to lose some weight, blah, blah, blah. But I never really did much about it. I'd do this diet for a little bit. I'd do that diet for a little bit. I didn't take it seriously, man. I mean, you got to take things seriously. You know, taking things seriously, you know, what do I mean by taking things seriously? I mean, well, you know, like cheat days, for example. A cheat day is not taking something seriously. You can, like, come up with all kinds of little excuses and reasons. You can reason anything. I mean, I reasoned a ton of stuff out. For 20 plus years, I reasoned out why it was okay for me to eat a donut, why it was okay for me to eat a chocolate bar, why it was okay for me to eat another pepperoni pizza. Like, I can, like, reason. I literally was reasoning out eating pizza like 5 times a week, you know? I reasoned it out. And, you know, the funny thing about junk food is it's never a, oh, well, this is how I live now kind of thing. At least it wasn't for me. It was always this is just a right now thing. I'm going to get my act together. I'm going to get my act together. This is just a right now kind of thing. It's just in the moment kind of thing. You know, I'm just going to have, you know, a donut today, or I'm just going to have, you know, this pint of ice cream today, and I'm going to start my diet next week. You know, it's always like that. For 20 years, it was like that. For 20 plus years, I never once said, oh yeah, this is how I do it now. I just, you know, I eat ice cream every day. That's just what I do. I eat a bag of M&Ms twice a day. You know, like, that's just how I do it, man. That's my new thing. It was never like that, okay? It was always like, this is just a right now thing. This is just a little phase I'm going through. It was always like that for 20 years. And the weight just crept up and crept up and crept up and crept up, you know? And so I just point that out because, like, to me, it feels like no one ever looks at, like, bad eating and junk food like, yeah, this is how I'm going to live for the next 20 years, or this is what I'm going to do for the next 10 or 15 years, you know? No one does that. You know, everyone's like, oh, yeah, you know, I don't eat the best. This is just kind of like a right now kind of thing. Everyone's like that. Everyone sits there and acts like, oh yeah, I'm not the best eater. You know, it's something I got to work on. You know, no one feels like they're just going to be eating potato chips for the rest of their life. Okay. People don't feel that way. People feel like it's just a right now kind of thing. Eventually they're going to clean their act up and they're going to be eating better. Right. That's how everybody feels. But, you know, I went from like being in my 20s to being now, I'm almost 50, and for that 49 years, that first 49 years, I mean, I never cleaned my act up. I always, like, I might do like a week of a diet or something, or 2 weeks of a diet, but I never really took anything seriously. I mean, I always just resorted back to eating bad food. So, again, I mean, be careful with that mentality. You know, you think that you're just, you know, this is just a right now kind of thing. It's just a phase. Yeah, it's just because I'm stressed out today. Oh, man, I'm just stressed out today, you know. I got a lot going on. I'm just going to stop at Burger King and get some hamburgers, you know. I got so much going on today. I didn't have time to make anything, whatever. You know, whatever, man. There's all kinds of excuses and nonsense. At the end of the day, like, those excuses and those ridiculous reasons and stuff, at the end of the day, it's just you not taking it seriously. That's what it is. And like, for me to finally really take this seriously, a doctor had to tell me I had diabetes and I needed to check my blood sugar every day. That woke me up. That finally woke me up. That was checking my blood sugar every day, and like, knowing that I hadn't eaten for like 12 or 15 hours, and like my blood sugar was still like 135 or 140 or something. I was like, dang. It was just eye-opening to me, and like checking my blood sugar every day was a constant reminder that I wasn't healthy, you know. So for some reason that woke me up, you know, and I think that's pretty sad, to be honest, that like it took that much to wake me up. But anyways, it's been a long journey. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not done. I want to get down to 190 pounds. So what have I learned this past year? I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want this video to be too long. What have I learned this past year? By the way, I took some notes, okay? That's why I'm kind of going down my notes here, looking at what I wanted to talk to you guys about. The first thing I would tell you is, if you want to lose weight, if you're heavy right now and you need to lose some weight and you want to make some change, all right? The first thing I tell you is low carb, low sugar is the way to lose weight, okay? Low carb, low sugar. And let me be more specific, okay? I eat on a daily basis between 50 to 70 carbs a day, okay? How do I know that? Because I measure it. I measure how many carbs I eat a day. I use an app. I've been using it all year long. It's called Chronometer. And I track my macros, man. I track my macros. Everything that I eat goes in that app. And I've been doing that every day for the past 54 weeks. So that's the first thing I would tell you, is that go low carb, low sugar. And again, 50 to 70 carbs a day is what I eat, what I consume. You know, when it comes to fruit, I don't eat like a lot of fruit. I eat apples, and I eat 2 apples a day. That's what I eat, 2 apples a day. A lot of times I will pair the apple with something else so that it hits my hits my bloodstream. The sugar in the apple hits my bloodstream slower. So I'll pair it with like cheese, or I'll pair it with like peanut butter. So that's what I'll do with that. But at the end of the day, low carb, low sugar is the way. That is the way to lose weight pretty quickly. Now, I want you to understand something. You know, like I feel like I'm supposed to be about 190 pounds. That's my fighting weight, you know, and I say that loosely. I'm not a boxer, okay? I'm using that term loosely. But I will tell you, the journey is not even, right? It's not even. It's not as simple as saying, oh, look, here's my current weight. Here's my goal weight. Oh, by my calculations, if I eat this many calories a day, I'll just nice and evenly ramp down to this. No, that's not how it goes. For me, there was a plateau. Once I got to like 220, I hit a wall where I didn't feel like I was losing weight for a while anymore. And what you got to understand is your body is doing its own thing. It's doing its own thing trying to survive. So, you know, I lost like 60, 70 pounds in the course of several months. So at some point your body will hit the brakes and it'll be like, hold on a second, and it'll just like even out. And there'll be this period there where you really just need to like stay the course and just let your body do its thing, and while you're staying the course and just kind of like staying even. There's definitely a point where the weight loss slows down, you know, and so I kind of liken it to like an inverted mountain. You start at the top of the mountain, and when you start losing weight, you're going down the mountain, so it's a little easier. It might seem hard, but it's a little easier. And then when you're going up the other side of the mountain, it's harder to lose weight, but you've acquired more self-discipline from all the work ethic you put in the beginning, so you're more used to what you're doing, so you can handle that it's harder on the second part of the journey. So that's how I kind of have seen it. But what I would say is low carb, low sugar. If you want to make some serious change in your life over the next several months, low carb, low sugar is the way. I followed, you know, if you want some guidance, like books, I can't recommend strongly enough Dr. Jason Fung. I think he's got a YouTube channel. That's not how I discovered Dr. Fung, from his YouTube channel. My wife found a book of his at the library called How to Reverse Diabetes the Natural Way. It was called the Diabetes Code. So I started and I read the Diabetes Code, and then I read his book called The Obesity Code. And then I just am reading right now, I'm finishing up his book called The Hunger Code, which is fascinating. It might be I would say the Hunger Code might be my favorite of the three, personally. However, I have to put Diabetes Code at number one, just because of the simple fact that it reversed my diabetes. That book reversed my type 2 diabetes. So information that I learned in that book, and a way of handling things the way that book talks about handling things helped me reverse my type 2 diabetes. So I put that first. But those three books, very, 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 very good books, critical on this journey for me. Another book that's been very critical for me, and this goes into the second thing that I think that I can really give you that's important, probably the most important thing, besides just low carb, low sugar. Oh, and by the way, about low carb, low sugar, I don't believe that low carb, low sugar is the way to eat for the rest of your life. This is a way to eat when you are heavy, okay? So like if you're out there at a normal weight, I don't think that you necessarily need to eat low carb, low sugar. I would say probably like paleo is a good way to eat. I started this whole journey wanting to do paleo. You know, paleo is a good way to eat, man. I would say no matter how you eat, I would say the less processed food you can eat, the better off you're going to be. No matter if you want to be a vegan or you want to be a carnivore or whatever you want to do, whatever your eating style is, I would say that the less processed food you eat, the better you're going to be. Now, so don't get it confused. What I'm saying is when you're trying to lose weight, low carb, low sugar is the way. When you're at a normal weight, you don't need to be doing all low carb, low sugar all the time. You don't have to do that. Your body is more than capable of, handling, like fruit, for example. Like there's a lot of sugar in fruit, but your body can handle it as long as it's not overloaded with, sugar. There's too much to talk about. This is a huge subject. Again, I read 3 books from Dr. Fung on this subject. It's all about the insulin in the body. It's all about, insulin in the body. It's all about hormones. It's far more complicated than like what most of us believe. But anyways, the point is, when I tell you low carb, low sugar, I'm talking about something to help you lose weight. I'm talking about something that you do for a year, maybe a year or two, just to like get down to a healthy weight, when your body is overloaded with sugar, right? And this isn't just for people with diabetes, okay? This is for normal people who don't have diabetes. A lot of what people don't understand is that weight is controlled by insulin. So, and that's advice that I would have canceled off when I didn't have diabetes. So, and I don't mean synthetic insulin. I mean the insulin your body produces on its own. A lot of that is, so I'm not going to get into all that. That's beyond the scope of this video. Maybe in a future video I'll talk about it. But the point is, low carb, low sugar is a good way to eat to lose weight, especially when you're big. Okay, if you can, get rid of the sugar, get rid of the bread, get rid of the pasta, get rid of all the crap that basically just turns to sugar, carbs. Again, I don't eat any carbs. Like I said, I eat 2 apples a day. I eat a piece of dark chocolate usually a day, 21 grams. What is a piece? 21 grams. I eat 21 grams of dark chocolate, every day usually. No, sometimes I don't. It just depends. But that's a little bit. I didn't start out eating that. I kind of graduated to that. I added that. But anyways, yeah, low carb, low sugar, no matter what you're eating. If you can go low carb, low sugar, 50 to 70 grams of, carbs a day is what I do. So besides low carb, low sugar, what else is important? Because I tell people this and they always tell me, yeah, dude, that's hard for me, dude. That's too hard. I can't do that, man. I can't give up my bread. I can't give up my pasta, whatever. I can't give up this. I can't give up. No, you can give that stuff up. You can give that stuff up, man. You're not trying hard enough. You don't want to give it up. So that leads me to the second thing that's really helped me this year. I read a book by Jocko Willink called Discipline Equals Freedom. All right. And the book is all about self-discipline, and it's all about growing your self-discipline. That book, it really reminded me of something I had forgotten. When I was in the Navy, I had realized when I was young that like I could do far more. I was capable of far more than I thought I was. And, it was all self-discipline. And I realized that, but somewhere along the line, I'd forgotten that. And that book really helped me kind of remember that. And anyways, the point is you have a superpower inside you, and it's called self-discipline. You can do a lot. You can do far more than you think you can do. But you're probably really weak right now when it comes to self-discipline. You need to grow stronger. So the book is really helpful to me when it comes to just like growing, like flexing and working my self-discipline muscle. You'd be surprised how strong you can get with your self-discipline when you just start focusing on it. So that's what I would tell you. Self-discipline and low carb, low sugar are the 2 big factors when it comes to losing weight. And, consistency. Consistency is vital, and that takes self-discipline to stay consistent. No cheat days, man. No cheat days. No, birthday parties, for example. You have a birthday party, your friend has a birthday party, your kids have a birthday party, everyone's eating cake and ice cream, everyone's eating pizza, whatever. Oh, but it's somebody's birthday. I can't just say no to somebody's birthday. This is a special occasion. No, it's a special occasion for them. It's not a special occasion for you. I mean, you being at the birthday party that's enough. You don't have to eat that food. That food is not for you. This past year, I have done my birthday. I've done my family's birthdays. I never ate any of the food. No cake, no ice cream, no pizzas, no nothing. Like, I stayed on my own path. My company is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, me being there and sharing in conversation and company, that's enough, man. I don't need to partake in that food. Now, Halloween, there's candy at Halloween. Christmas, there's all kinds of goodies at Christmas time. Thanksgiving, I'm in America here. We have Thanksgiving. There's all kinds of goodies at Thanksgiving. Easter is another one with a lot of candies and goodies and stuff like that. I don't eat that stuff, man. That's not what I eat. So again, it's taking it seriously and embracing a lifestyle change. And it's not like being like a food Nazi. It's not like, preaching to everybody else on how to eat and stuff like that. It's really just being resolved to making a real change in your life and being consistent with it over time, over weeks and months and years now for me. I can't believe I've been on this journey for over a year. And I'll tell you, like, when I first started this, if we go back to the day one video that I shot for you guys, if I would like, in my mind, if I would have thought, dude, you're still going to be doing this 55 weeks later, man, and you're still going to have to lose about, 30 pounds, if I would have thought that, I don't know if I could have done it, man. It would have been daunting, you know what I mean? But that's why I just told myself back then, man, it's one day at a time, man. It's one day at a time, and that's what it's going to be, And I'll tell you something, I didn't start off the way I ended up. That first 3 weeks, I was trying to do a cheat day. I was trying to do 7 days on and then 1 day off. And I'm telling you something, on that 1 day off, I would eat whatever the heck I wanted to, and cheat days just don't work, man. They don't work for me. Because that cheat day, I still, even like 3 weeks in before I discovered I had diabetes, but 3 weeks into that, I was still slipping here and there. Like I would, I'd go get an apple pie from, Dunkin' Donuts or something, like here and there, I just slip a little bit, and the cheat day kind of bleeds over into other days. Like the cheat day just doesn't work, man. If you're heavy, if you're having a problem with your weight, there's several reasons why people eat, and there could be a very good chance that you're eating for reasons other than just hunger. It could be like, you're eating for like pleasure, right? It could be you're eating like for coping because, your life is really stressed out and like that's like your comfort blanket or whatever, And if these are the reasons you're eating and these are some of the reasons why you've gotten big, well, a cheat day ain't going to work for you, man, because you're going to have like this 1 day a week or whatever that is like a cheat day, but you're going to get stressed out and you're going to have trouble other days of the week, man. And you're going to try to go back to that food and stuff. So like the cheat days don't work. I mean, like think about it, man. Alcoholics don't get cheat days. You don't got nobody out there who's an alcoholic who has like cheat days. Oh yeah, man, just once a week I drink a 12-pack. That doesn't happen, man. No successful alcoholic recovery people have cheat days. No successful like drug addicts like take a cheat day. It doesn't happen, man. It doesn't happen because they know they got a real problem and they're taking it seriously. There is no cheat days. All right. It's cold turkey. It's off. Right. And that's how it's got to be with this. And again, when I was taking those cheat days, man, I wasn't taking it seriously, man. I thought I was, but I wasn't. Not taking it seriously as I needed to really get what I needed to get to. So anyways, consistency is vital. That book, Discipline Equals Freedom, can help you. But self-discipline is critical. It is confusing out there, okay? There's so many different people trying to tell you so many different ways to eat, so many different ways to live your life. There's no shortage of like self-help advice out there. It is very confusing. So I would tell you, man, you got to be careful who you listen to. I think that like if you look at the common denominators to all these ways of eating, one common denominator is, eat less processed food. If you look at like the tracking of, when Americans started getting fat, when we started getting fat as a nation, you can track it to processed foods, the introduction of, certain things into our food. You can track it. It's pretty trackable. So I would say, you go back to our ancestors, even as far back as just like the 50s. Just go back to like the 50s, man. That's not even that far back. That's like, you go back like 50 or 70 years and we didn't have this kind of problem with obesity in America. All right. So what changed between the 1940s and 1950s and now? What changed? So it's pretty easy to track. It's pretty easy to see like all the processed foods is what has changed, So I think that has a lot to do with the processed foods. It is confusing out there. If you want to know my personal belief, I believe that we are omnivores. I believe there are things in meat that we need, and I believe there are things in plants that we need. But if you try to just do an all vegan diet, it's very difficult for you unless you take supplements, right? Because there are things that you need that are in meat, okay? So if you eat an all meat diet, I believe it's going to be difficult for you. I know some people out there eat a carnivore diet. I believe that's going to be difficult for you in the long term. It might be good for a few years, but in the long term, 20, 30 years, it's going to be difficult for you because there's things in plants that help your body that you need. So in my view, I think we are meant to be omnivores. We are meant to eat plants, and we are meant to eat meat as well. This is my view. You might have your own view. What I would tell you is that whether you think you need to be a vegan or whether you think you need to be like a carnivore diet or whatever you want to think you need to be, ketogenic diet, whatever, what I would tell you is that if you look at the common denominator of all these diets, everyone agrees on processed food is not good for you. The less processed food, the better. The closer you can get to whole food, the better off you're going to be. And pretty much all diets agree on that. So I would say there's some clarity in that. But again, I can only give you my testimony from what I've experienced the last 54 weeks. And for me, that's a lot of proof. And what I've experienced is that like in the world of losing weight and in the world of trying to get the weight off to help you, right? I can tell you that I reversed my diabetes, man. I literally freaking reversed my diabetes. Not pre-diabetes. I had full-blown, uncontrolled diabetes. And if you go and look at my first several weeks, I actually showed my test results from my blood work that the doctor took. And it sucked, man. It really sucked. But it was like one of my greatest times of my life being able to reverse that. And I showed the test results of that when I reversed it too. But the doctor told me at that time that like, hey man, if you start messing up and you start gaining weight, this diabetes will come back. Your body remembers. That's what she told me. And like that, I took that to heart, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to ever happen. So, that's what I would tell you about that. It's confusing out there. All I can do is offer you my testimony of what I have experienced. Low carb, low sugar is the way to lose weight. I don't think that's the way to live your life forever. I don't. I believe that's a good diet for weight loss. And the reason why I say I don't believe it's a good way to live forever is because I don't think carbs are villains. You can't villainize carbs. There's good carbs out there. There's like tribes of people that mostly their whole diet consists of like potatoes almost. So like all the carbs aren't bad, so I think low carb, low sugar is an effective way to eat. It's almost like a prescription, you know what I mean? Like if you have a cold, you take, let me take some vitamin C and zinc, to help my cold symptoms or whatever. It's like one of those kind of things. Or, I have a sickness. Let me take this antibiotic to help my sickness or whatever. It's like that, So like when you're fat, your body's not supposed to be that fat. Low carb, low sugar will help you even out your weight. It'll help you reduce your weight. So again, I'm not saying you should villainize carbs. I'm not saying carbs are the enemy. I'm just saying when you're big, this is a way to lose weight effectively. And to do it, it's not necessarily easy because you're going to have to make changes in your life. I love bread. Bread is awesome. One of my favorite foods is pizza. Well, I had to give that up, man, because pizza is a bunch of bread. All right. So, I had to give that up. I love ice cream. I had to give that up. Ice cream's all sugar. Candy bars. I love candy bars. I had to give those up. The only kind of candy bar I eat now is dark chocolate candy bars, which is like, and I'm not just talking about just regular whatever dark chocolate. I'm talking about like 70, 80% dark chocolate. And I have to limit how much of that I eat because that has like heavy metals in it and stuff. I mean, you can look this stuff up. Dark chocolate has like heavy metals and it like accumulates in your system. So you got to be careful how much of that you eat too. It's bad for your brain. So anyway, I've learned a lot this past year, probably too much to fit in this video, but I hope I've given you some insights. I meant to do this video right at 52 weeks, but I was too busy. I'm glad to be able to do it here now for you though. On the small things, I want to speak just for a minute on the small things before I get out of here. Like I tell you, low carb, low sugar is the way. I eat 50 to 70 carbs a day. I think that on the small things, it's going to be a little different for everybody. I can tell you a lot of small things that I do. One small thing that I do is I eat like the same foods every day. I eat the same foods every day. You know, I call it the Lego style of eating because it's very simplified. I have a very simplified way of eating. I pretty much eat the same foods. For sweets, if I have a sweet tooth, like I have apples and I have dark chocolate, right? And I only have 2 apples a day. I only have 1 piece of dark chocolate a day. So it's very simplified how I handle it. So pretty much every day is laid out the same, you know? And I drink water, I drink tea, I drink coffee. Like that's what I drink. Just those 3 things, that's it. Nothing else. No milk, no this, no that, nothing, man. No Kool-Aid. I don't drink any of that crap. I drink water, I drink tea, I drink coffee. That's what I drink. So these are kind of like the small things, and maybe it's going to be a little different for everybody. I don't think you guys need to follow those things the same as I do. For the last year, I've been taking my weight every day. I've been making a little video every day for you guys. That's getting ready to change. I'm getting ready to switch that down to once a week. I'm going to keep an alarm on my phone to remind me to make a video for you guys on Monday. I'm going to check my weight once a week. I'm not going to check my weight every day like I have been. I'm going to check my weight on Monday. So that's a big change for me because for the last year, I've been checking my weight every single day. But now it's just going to be a Monday thing. So that's a big change for me. And even that feels funny, like, right? Like, I don't like a lot of changes, man. When I start talking about changes, I feel like that's going to, like, sabotage my operation or something. That's how I am, you know? I am the kind of person where, like, I like everything the same. That helps me with my self-discipline. You know, if everything's the same every day, I don't have to think about it. This is how I do it. Oh, what's for breakfast? No, there's no what's for breakfast. I know what I eat for breakfast. I eat like, you know, either a chicken tenderloin or a sausage with 2 eggs, a slice of cheese, and some onions, right? That is my breakfast, right? That's what I eat for breakfast every single day. And it's always the same. You know, so for lunch, I always have like pork rinds, like 2 servings of pork rinds, some beef jerky, and an apple. That's what I have for lunch. You know, for dinner, some of it depends on what the family's eating, but a lot of times it will be just like, you know, for me, it'll be like chicken with like maybe some mixed vegetables, and you know, and that's it. Maybe a stick of cheese. I get like these cheese sticks from the store. So it'll be like chicken, a stick of cheese, and some mixed vegetables. You know, green beans or mixed vegetables. But it's like pretty much like the same thing every day. You know, it's not a lot of variety. And like that's what works for me. Like that helps me to stay consistent. I don't have to think a lot about what I'm going to eat. I pretty much know, and I call it the Lego style of eating because I mix and match things around. You know, I don't always eat, like last night I had an apple with cinnamon on it, right? Well, to me, that's different than just like an apple without cinnamon on it, or that's different than like an apple with like peanut butter, and that's different than like an apple with cheese, right? It's different ways to eat the apple. So like to me, it's like the same basic 20 to 25 ingredients, and I kind of mix and match them, but that works for me. I think that's the small things. You know, you have to figure out what works for you. But like the big things, I think when it comes to weight loss, I think low carb, low sugar is the way. And I think that self-discipline is critical. You have to have self-discipline. You have to grow your self-discipline. If you're out there right now and you're fat, you probably don't have a lot of self-discipline. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, if you're out there right now and you're fat, you probably don't have a lot of self-discipline. You're going to have to work on growing your self-discipline. There can't be any cheat days. There can't be any like cheat meals. There can't be any like birthday celebrations, days off, whatever. If you're eating because you get stressed out, that has to go away. You have to find another way to deal with your stress besides eating. That's just the way it is, man. There's got to be some other thing. So, and you can do it, you know, you can do it. It just takes, it takes resolve. That's what it takes. Anyways, I think that's it. This is week 55. I hope this has been helpful to you. I'll see you guys next week. Peace now.